A little something different this week on this program of News and Newsmakers. This week, the title belongs to this group of students from Pompano Beach High School. They come back from a visit to the Department of Homeland Security, right, in Washington, D.C. this week with a second-place win for a plan to prevent violence by stopping its root causes. So we have Zoe Katz and we have Ali Vagelos. Okay, I'm used to like the Spanish reading of it. Zoe Katz, I can do, Zoe Katz.
No, Crystal.
Crystal. You're Zoe, you're Crystal. Let me do this again just because it's their first time on TV. So Zoe,
yes.
Crystal, Ali, and you have your own little supers on your shirt, which makes it very easy. So anyway, it's great to have you here, and there's reasons for that, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. But first, I want to get this little prop that you brought here. This is your winning project.
Yes.
So let's talk about what that is and why it is, and then we're going to broaden out this conversation a little bit.
Okay. Ali, do you want to? So in the box, you'll see.
So let's see. I'll be the.
In the box. Okay.
I'll be the presenter. Go ahead. In the box.
You'll see a bracelet that we made for you. It has your name on it.
Oh, thank you.
As one of our
nice.
matching ones. Yes.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay.
One of our tactics of our project that you'll find out about was making those with the elementary school students, and then those are some other cards and kindness cards that share Alyssa and her story, and
so Alyssa Aladef,
we plan to take,
who is one of the 17 victims at Parkland,
yes.
And this was in Washington D.C. It was this project, Crystal, that you brought to. It looked like the McCain Center to prevent violence and domestic terrorism. And when you were in D.C., and this is kind of where I want to take this conversation, because on this program we rarely hear young voices, and it's really important to hear what you take away from D.C. and the sort of belly of the beast of politics. Did you feel at home there? Did you feel like you had a voice there?
Yes, I really did. So when it comes to it, your voice is your power. So being able to go there and present our project and even meet with so many other individuals with other projects that are so important, it was a great experience, and it truly showed us that we have a voice and we're able to do something with that voice. And we're hoping that what we did could share to other people watching and to the youth and really influence in a positive way.
So as we look at some of the photographs of you with the brand new Congressman Jared Moskowitz, who was on this program, I think just last week. Ali, why do you think, let me ask you this. I'm gonna have you help us here. We have one of the most engaged audiences for this program in South Florida. Really engaged, smart, interested people. Not a lot of people your age or even in their 20s. Why is that? What would make you want to watch this program or others like it?
So as a student myself, I feel like staying involved and hearing about things your peers and other people around you are doing in your community, that's how you're going to make change.
Do you watch? Do you ever watch this program?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes. Yeah.
Every morning, yeah.
Okay, so hopefully your entire school does too. But that's so. And what do you, when you say that you have it's important for the community? It sounds good. It does. Let's get real here. It sounds really good. We all want to be engaged. But you have lives and you do different things, and a lot of young people don't vote, right? Mm-hmm. They don't vote. Zoe, why don't young people vote? You're not old enough to vote just yet.
Not yet.
and that's, and that's important to note, because I sense that you will be voters.
Oh,
but a lot of people don't. Mm-hmm. And what's really interesting is that in 2000, I want to say between 16 and 18, the youngest voters, the number of youngest voters, became the majority of voters. So if everybody voted, they get what they want, even more than baby boomers who are big voters. Mm-hmm. Why don't younger people vote?
I think that it's really important, especially with what we were doing with Bonding Buddies. We wanted to, instill at a young age the importance of, growing as a community and that kind of community living with our bracelets and with our activities.
You're not answering my questions, Mama. Why don't people vote? Why don't young people vote? Why don't people feel like you, so engaged? Why? Why is that?
I think maybe they don't feel involved. I think that maybe they need some more incentive, need some more, they want to feel like it is about them. And I feel at our age, we are so involved in social media and involved in that realm that if we're targeted in that realm, if we're talked to in that space, we're more likely to engage than,
That's really insightful. And so, Crystal, the reason, I'm just going to guess based on what you've shown me here from your project, the reason you feel so engaged is because you live very close to the center of a catastrophe in our community. And so is this what made you plug in?
Yeah, I would have to say this tragedy, it really brought all of us together to see something so heartbreaking happen so close to home. It hurt. It was eye-opening. So seeing this, we wanted to get connected. We wanted to be part of that change, which is what Make Our School Safe is all about.
MOSS is the club, Make
Yes.
Our
Make Our
School
School
Safe.
The Make Our School Safe's national mission is to empower students and staff to create and maintain a culture of safety and vigilance in a secure school environment. And with our initiative, that's exactly what we're doing.
Somebody really trained you well in those talking points, didn't they? That's, and that's important because as much as I joke, because what our job is here is to get beyond talking points and to challenge people. But I think it's really interesting that you have sort of taken to heart a club like that.
Yeah.
And so, Allie, was that the same experience for you? You personally plugged in because of this horrible moment in
Yeah, so my sister was actually really close friends with Alyssa, and her family lives in my neighborhood. So as one, we came all together to, make this change and to do this. And for me, that was my drive personally. And knowing her mom and everyone, they all pushed me into this. And I'm thankful for that, because the change that we can make as young people sets a model for everyone else to follow by.
So, okay, in the short time that we kind of have left, I want you to help me and our audience know how to involve people of the next generation. You will be inheriting the issues. I don't know if you were listening to our program prior to this segment. I mean, we talked about some really important things that are going to especially chart your lives in the next year. How do they do that? How do you tell your peers how important it is to step up and be engaged and take the lead?
I think, especially with our initiative, we kind of went to the prime time of where the kids are the most moldable, right? Where they're, in their group environments, in their, in their element, and kind of show them how important it is to be involved, right? And
how do you do that?
With our
Take
students,
me really down into the detail.
with our students specifically, we were really encouraging of getting people to be involved in our program, right? It's something that can change so many lives, especially the little kids, and seeing how they react, especially students in lower income housing, all of those kinds of things, kids that may not have as much attention, bringing that attention from our students at Pompano and bringing it to them and helping them, plant the seed that this is important and we're all one community and we all want to make a change and we all want to see a difference.
Crystal, what do you think?
I agree with that fully. I think being there and being able to instill these positive influences is really what's going to grow our community and have that positive influence in the next wave and in our next generation. We are the ones that need to make that change, and we do that by targeting where we grow, where we are at the roots.
Allie, last word.
I mean, I totally agree. Like you said, to make this change, to make young people start voting, it starts at a young age by having our positive influence on younger students who don't have as fortunate circumstances. That's where you're going to see the most change, and that's where it's going to flourish.
So I want you to know that as this program goes on, we're going to be bringing younger voices in, and not necessarily to talk about a project, but to talk about issues. If I invited you, would you feel competent to talk about something in the news right now? Give your perspective?
Sure, yeah.
As long as I told you what it was
Yes,
first.
as long as
A little bit of background.
All right, thank you so much for being our first really young voices on this show, and I'm so appreciative that you watch, and I hope we'll see you again.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
having
Thanks
us.
for having
Take care.
us.